Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahil Kareem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we will start the second lecture for the Muslim home. And in my first lecture, I've just given the introduction and first recommendation for how you can actually have a Muslim home or a blessed home or an ideal home. Before I start, I would like to make a small, quick recap on our previous lessons, or previous lesson actually. It was introduction, and in the introduction, I mentioned the first part was about the motivation, that why do we need to have a blessed home? Why do we need to have a home as per the Quran and Sunnah? Because I mentioned some points, and one of the point which I mentioned was about the responsibility of a man. I mentioned a hadith in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Allah will ask every shepherd about his flocks. Shepherd about his flocks. It means that Allah will be asking every man about his family. It is the responsibility of a man to take care of his family, to provide them with the food, with the money, or any other things. It is very important. So while mentioning about the responsibility of a man, about, because Allah will be asking him how you treated your family, or how you managed your family. Did you provide enough money or food or whatever they needed on time or not? With that, also one responsibility of a man is to actually to protect the woman. I mean, like in the Quranic way. In the I'll give you an hadith from that. I will explain more on that. There is one thing, the use, which the hadith is mentioning. Because many people, they think that it is okay if my wife don't cover. It is okay if my wife is leaving home without covering, or my daughter is leaving home without covering. It is okay. But look at this hadith. It is very serious hadith, and it actually scares us when we look at this hadith. So may Allah change us after listening to this hadith, inshallah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that there are three at whom Allah will not look. There are three at whom Allah will not look on the day of resurrection, the Yawm al-Qiyamah. The one who disobeys his parents, the woman who imitates men in her outward appearance, and the use, a person who is lacking ghera, protective jealousy. So these three things are there. Our topic is on the home, so I will talk about the use. What is a use? We all need to know what is a use. May Allah protect us all. Maybe we are actually falling into this category. The use is many scholars have given different meaning and the examples of the use. But one, just to explain, I will tell you from Imam Az-Zahbi. He mentioned that a man who knows the evil done by its members, and he is silent and has no feeling of jealousy. So, for example, your wife, she does not cover, and she's leaving the house without the hijab, or your daughter leaving the house without the hijab, and she's going out wherever she's going, even to the malls, but she is not covering. And when she leave home, she beautifies herself. She put the perfume on. Oh wait, perfume. There is another hadith for the sisters. Very important hadith. If you are leaving your home without the perfume, with the perfume, and it is actually other people can smell that, then it is a big sin. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, it is Sahih hadith Tirmidhi 2786. Every eye can commit adultery. The woman who adores, who beautify herself with fragrances, and passes by an assembly of a men, passes by some men are standing, or now in the case like when we have seen that if we leave the elevators of the buildings, or we are working somewhere, you can really literally smell like there is some lady, some sister was there, how strong the fragrances are. So the hadith is that if a woman she adorns herself, beautify herself by the fragrance, and passes by assembly of men, is as such, meaning adulteress. She has committed adultery if she put the perfume on and leave the house, and someone non-mahram is has he can smell the perfume. She's zaniya. This is clear hadith, very strict hadith. So coming back to the use, your wife is leaving house with the perfume on, beautifying herself, leaving the home, and you don't care. You don't feel any kind of jealousy. This is the protective jealousy, this is the protective jealousy, and this is the gaira, this is the haya, you can say, that should be in every man. If you don't have that, khalas, you are the use, because you don't care. You're okay with your wife leaving home without the hijab. You are okay your wife putting her picture without hijab, with hijab, on the Facebook or on the social media, and you see the comments of the non-mahram, mashallah, very beautiful hair, mashallah, very nice clothes. You're okay with that, you're the use, because you don't have the gaira in your heart. You don't feel any jealousy. And not only that, you have to take some measures. You have to change, you have to ask your wife not to do that. It's not only that you feel something and you keep quiet because you're afraid of your wife. No, Allah will be asking you. Allah will be asking you. This is your responsibility to protect your family, to protect yourself and your family from the hellfire. So one part is that you are actually stopping your wives, stopping your spouses, if they are leaving the home or if they are not covering. This is your responsibility to ask them. By any means, you have to do that. Or for example, your daughter is doing anything. Your daughter is going out with the boys, or at the mixing places where the boys and the girls are mixed. She's going out for the parties, and you don't feel anything. You say it's okay. You say this, the life has changed. Now it's a new era, modern life. If you think that you're very modern, then you will be falling under the use. So you have to take care of that. Allah will not look at the person who is at the use. May Allah protect us all. So coming back, the very first recommendation which I gave was on because in order to make a house, the very first thing is you need to choose a righteous wife, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned about a righteous house, righteous wife, that the word is all temporary convenience, and the greatest joy of this life is who? A righteous wife. If you have a righteous wife, khalas, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, because your house will be blessed, your children will be pious, you will have the coolness of your eyes at your home. So this is the very first requirement, that you should choose a righteous wife. And I mentioned some points like what kind of wives you need to look at. Of course, the righteous. Then there is a hadith about the four things in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, and for the sisters as well, I mentioned some points. What do you need to look at in the boys when you looking, or the parents' advice to the parents I've given in my last lecture. There are a few things which I need to mention to complete the first recommendation. Is the advice for the boys. This is my advice from my experience, from my knowledge. This is my advice for the boys who want to get married, who are looking for the new proposals, or they are seriously looking to get married, looking forward to get married. Then remember my advice. This is my advice. Again, I'm saying, of course, from the Quran and Sunnah, from my experience, from my limited knowledge, I'm giving. If a woman, if a girl you're approaching, she does not pray, don't approach to her. Don't marry her. It's better to stay single than to marry a woman who does not pray. Don't marry her. If a woman she don't wear hijab, don't marry her. Don't marry her. Don't think that it's okay, it's just a hijab. No, this is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a compulsory thing on a woman to cover herself. If you don't wear hijab, don't marry her. Look at her aqidah. Look at is she following the Quran and Sunnah, the minhaj of Salaf or not? Quran and Sunnah. If not, wallahi, my advice, don't marry. Don't marry her. Because I know of my friends. They married, they are on Quran and Sunnah, but they married to different Aqidah lady. I will not mention the sectors, but different. And subhanallah, even their Aqidah is changed. Because for you to change by your wife is much easier than you changing your wife. This is the reality. The fourth thing is, if she does not have haya, don't marry her. Don't marry her if she does not have haya. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if you don't have haya, then you can do anything. If a woman you are proposing, you want to marry, she does not have haya, then why do you want to marry her? She will be okay talking to anyone, openly, smiling. She does not have haya. She will not listen to you after the marriage. So these are just my advices, and all of these, how you can know before the marriage is by looking at the family, asking from the relatives or from the people if they know them or not. And family is very important thing. Look at their family as well. Don't think, never think. This is a big mistake that a person, he thinks that I will be marrying a woman, not the family. No, looking at the family is very important as well, because this family will be your family as well. Your son, your daughter will be calling them grandfather, grandmother, or uncle and aunt. These are very important. Their family is very important. And the one mistake which people do is they say, forget the family, I'm not marrying the family, or I'm just marrying this lady. No. After that, what happened? They suffer because of the family as well. So this is advice. Look at the family as well, how good the family is, how pious the family is. Of course, the family is pious, religious, praying 5 times, hijab, everything the mother is doing, the daughter will do as well, inshallah. And for the sisters, the advice, what you should not go for, of course, the parents, I must say the parents, they should take this advice when they are looking for a proposal for their daughters. A man, of course, look at a guy who is praying 5 times. Of course, if he's not praying 5 times, this is very important, very important, that he prays 5 times and he knows about Islam, he's practicing. Look at these things. Don't of course, you have to look at his salary and other things, but keep your basic thing as a religion. As religion, if his religion is good, inshallah, Allah will put the barakah in his money as well. But if he does not pray, he do all the bad things, he has bad company, what you will do with his passport, or what you will do with his money? Maybe for 1 year your daughter will be happy, if your daughter is religious. If your daughter is not religious, they don't care anything. So after 1 year, 2 years, khalas, the love is gone. What you will do with the money? If there is no peace at home, what you will do with the money? The peace will come from the Quran and Sunnah, and if you follow that, inshallah, there will be peace at your homes, inshallah. So these were some of the advices from the previous lecture, and of course, try to approach through the means, to the Islamic means. Don't approach directly to the woman or to the men. Of course, and remember, there is no love before the marriage. There is no love before the marriage. This is just a shaitan, which is actually putting the love, and you think that I love her or I love him. This is just shaitan. Nothing. There is no love before the marriage. For that reason, if we look at the rate of the divorce, is for whom are the love marriages, the people who did the love marriages. They have the highest rate, even in Kuwait. Even in Kuwait, the highest rate for the love marriage, they're divorced. So there is no love marriage before. There is no love before Islam. May Allah forgive us all. May Allah forgive all those who have done that. And now is the time to change ourselves. We are here. Well, you're listening to my lecture. I am giving the lecture. These are all advices for myself first, then to all the listeners, because we want to change our houses. We are fed up and we are depressed in our houses, in our homes. Now we want to change ourselves. So these are advices. If we have done any mistake in the past, now we have to see how we can change something. And for changing something, we need to start from ourselves. We need to start from ourselves. Allah will not change the condition until we change something. And we need to take that first step. If we want to change something, we need to work hard. If our wives were never used to cover, we need to work hard. We need to change that thing. If we never prayed, if we never thought about Islam, now is the time. Wallahi, now is the time. If not now, then when? Look at the condition now. Look at the condition now. If we will not change ourselves now, then I think we will never be able to change. So take the best use of this time. Now coming back to advice number 2. Now you're still like you married. Now you are married. Okay, the first time was you go for a religious wife. Now you are married. Now what happened when a person get married? If the wife she's religious, she's righteous, wallahi, as I mentioned from the hadith, this is the greatest bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the greatest blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second scenario is that if your wife is not religious, now what? Now what we do? For the religious, alas, we stop for that. Inshallah, because all other points, the coming points, will help the religious and the non-religious as well. Now we will just put a focus on the non-religious thing. If your wife is not religious, now you need to change something. You need to strive hard because you are the head of the house. If you are scared of your wife and you're not scared of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will suffer in this life and in the hereafter as well. You need to change yourself. You need to take out the fear of your spouse from your heart to have a satisfied, to have a blessed life. Because what is the problem? If you always, you're just scared of your wife with regards to everything, what will happen? You will not able to advise her with anything, and you will accept everything she asks you for. Halal, haram, you will not be able to say anything. Khalas, because your wife, you're scared of your wife. Don't scared of your wife. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. And yes, of course, there is respect is different thing. For the man, for the woman, respect is different thing. But now the situation is strange. Wallahi, people, they are scared. No respect. They're scared of their spouses. May Allah protect us all from that situation. Now, why do we get married to a non-righteous or non-religious woman? There is 3 scenarios for that. Firstly, we were never religious, so we never approached a religious woman, because those who are not religious, men or women, they literally hate the people who are religious sometimes. Like a man who is not religious, he don't care about religion when he's approaching a woman. He only needs what? Beauty. She should look very beautiful and attractive. Not attracting to only to him, to the whole community. Everyone should praise his wife. When he wants to approach someone, she looks for the most beautiful woman. She don't care about religion. She don't care about anything. Because he himself don't know Islam, how would he expect or he need an Islam from his wife? That is the first scenario. The second is that you are religious, but You are approaching a woman, you want to marry someone because you love her. May Allah protect us all from the love before marriages. May Allah protect us all from the love marriages. Wallahi, all those people who I know of many people who they were in love and they wanted to get married, but because of some reasons they were not able to marry. Now they are sad. Now the man is sad, the woman is sad. Mostly the girls are sad. Now remember, wallahi, Allah has blessed you people. Allah has blessed you, that Allah did not put you in trouble because of your haram relation, and that you haram relation you continue and live your life in haram. Allah has blessed you, and Allah did not make you marry each other. This is the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should be thankful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that someone which shaitan had made you love, you were not able to marry him or her. So may Allah protect us all. So this is the second scenario. You're religious, but you want to marry a girl, and she's not religious, but you think that after marriage you will change her. Subhanallah. One sheikh, he said a very nice thing. He said it is a lifelong project if you want to change someone after marriage. Girl, woman, after marriage, if you think you will change her after marriage, you will never be able to do that. Never. Very difficult, very difficult. Of course, with Allah, everything is possible. With the help of Allah, everything is possible. The third point is under pressure. Your relatives, your parents, they forced you to marry someone. So you married to a non-religious wife. So now you are stuck, or may Allah bless your lives. Even if your wives are not religious, may Allah make them religious. Now what you need to do is, as I mentioned, this is your job. You have to work very hard on that. This is the recommendations. First thing is, always remember that you cannot guide your wife. You cannot guide your wife. It is Allah who will guide your wife. So you have to approach Allah, so Allah will guide your wife. Of course, you have to do your work as well. Your homework need to be done. But if you think that only with the homework your wife will change, or if you think only with the dua your wife will change, no. In both cases, you will have to work hard. You have to work hard with your spouses. With what I will give you the tips. I know the time is almost over, but there are some tips which are very important for all those who are suffering with non-religious wives, and they're always depressed. Now they are changed, or they are trying to change. They need advice. How can they change their spouses? So the very first thing I mentioned, always have this thing in your mind, that it is Allah who will change you, change your wife. Nobody else can. No power. If you think, if someone say that I told my wife to start wearing the hijab and she did it next day, wallahi, I think it's a lie. This is impossible. Something which is impossible. That by just telling a non-religious wife or a semi-religious wife something, and she starts straight away, she start obeying you, it's very difficult. Maybe not in this part of the world. So now, paying attention to correcting her worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make her sit and try to explain her the things. Put the love of the deen in her. Of course, for that you need to change yourself. You need to change yourself first. Then only you can change your wife. Because otherwise, every step you will get a slap, a bouncer you will get. That you yourself don't do, why you want me to do? You yourself don't want to lower your gaze, why you want me to cover? You yourself don't want to pray, why do you want me to cover? So for everything you will say which you are not doing, there will be like a you can say a bigger stone, expect a bigger stone coming on you if you are not changed. You have to change yourself as first. Paying attention to correcting her worship of Allah in all aspects. as will be discussed in the below points. I'll give you quickly give you some of the tips. The first thing, very important thing, try to strengthen her iman, because if the iman is strong, she will listen to you, she will obey you, she will start obeying you at the very first call, and she will start listening to whatever you will say. Iman, this is the weakness of iman in the male and the female, men and women, both sides. Because of that we struggle. So how you can advise her is, of course, always you have to pray all the time. There's a very nice dua for the spouses. I mean, for the men, for the spouses. If ever you have a fight, or you can say for a blessed wife, for the children's. You can learn this dua. It is very important. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما. Do this dua in the sujood. Do this dua, and like whenever you want to do the dua, Allah will help you, inshallah. So remember this dua, and keep asking Allah for the help. So ask her to read the Quran. Ask her to read the Quran. This will soften her heart. She will change, inshallah, with the Quran. Allah soften the heart with the Quran. It is the lack of the Quran that we don't recite at our homes that the blessings are gone. We need to start reciting the Quran a lot every day. Should be our routine that we need to recite the Quran. So ask her yourself as well, and your spouse as well. Make a routine. Maybe after Isha, you sit together and you recite the Quran, or you listen to the Quran from her. So make this routine, or you start memorizing small surahs from the last chapter of the Quran. So slowly, everything will happen slowly. Don't think that all of a sudden everything will change. Everything will be changed slowly. So Quran, first thing, of course, you need to change the iman, the level of iman. If try to do the things which will make her iman strong. So in order to make her heart soft, make her read the Quran. Make her read the Quran. Make a plan, a weekly plan, that you need to achieve a goal with regards to the Quran. Maybe in memorizing, maybe in your making your pronunciation much better, or maybe just to complete the Quran. Make some plans with your wife, with your spouse. Don't only plan the weekends at the beaches, or a family gathering. Plan for the deen as well. Plan something. It's very important if you want to change the condition of your homes. Second thing is, encourage her to memorize the adkhars, the morning adkhars, the evening adkhars, and other adkhars from the Sunnah, from the Sahih Hadiths. Make her memorize these adkhar and recite them on a daily basis. Especially the morning and evening adkhar. Wallahi, nobody have to leave these adkhars. Very special adkhars. You will be like, if you recite in the morning, you will be confident, you'll be strong health-wise as well. You'll be strong, you'll be protected from the shaitan, you'll be protected from the evil eye, you'll be protected from the jinn. This morning and evening adkhar, make it compulsory. Learn them, memorize them. Again, make a plan. In a week, inshallah, we will memorize this adkhar, and we will start it, we will implement it from the next week. Make this plan. Other thing is, encourage her to give charity. It's not only that you give charity and your wife is only saving the money for all the shoppings. Encourage her to give the charity. Maybe there is the opportunity, and you ask her, look, there is opportunity for the charity, you give this charity. This time, let's do it together. Maybe 10 KD, maybe 1 KD, maybe less than that. But encourage her. Force her. Don't force her. I mean to motivate her to give the charity. Other thing is, make her read some useful Islamic books. Maybe the seerah, maybe the seerah, maybe the translation of the Quran, maybe some Aqidah book, or some other Islamic books. Make her read. Stop her from, if she's reading into novels or non-Islamic books. Stop her from that. These novels are a big problem now. They love to read all the novels, the Harry Potter or whatsoever novels. They love to read that. But when it comes to Islamic, Allah has given you this gift. This is a gift that you can read. You love to read. Read the books of Allah. Learn the Deen. Not everyone can read the books. So make her read some books. Maybe you can gift her a book, and you can ask her to read it in a polite way, inshallah. And other thing is encourage her, make her listen to small advices or reminders from the shuyukh, or some lectures on the Eeman, some lectures on the how to become a righteous woman, or some stories from the Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha, or the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Encourage her, make her listen to the lectures, maybe from the small reminders, 2-3 minutes to half an hour, inshallah. Then try to look at her company. Maybe she want to meet her old friends who are not religious, who don't care about Islam. Try to stop her. Try to stop her from meeting them, because this is big problem now. Big problem that if you even if you want to change yourself, but because of the company, you're wrong. You're bad, because this company is, especially for the ladies. Always the Instagram is the problem. They make some faces. The pictures are always everywhere, and all the social media. These things are problem. Even at sitting at home, and then they will share something bad of that. Look at that lady. Look at that lady. Make her have friendship with the religious woman. Maybe through the halakas, you have a friend. Maybe you can make your wife meet his wife in such a way. Try to change her company. Just one more advice is try to pray, try to motivate her, because of course, as I said, for all of these things you have to adopt yourself. You have to implement these things in yourself first, then only you can try to advise her. This is not the case with everyone, but only for the spouses I'm saying. Try to implement yourself, then only, just to avoid any kind of problems, inshallah. Pray at night. Maybe you start with once a week, but try to do it yourself and ask your wife to do it as well, inshallah. These are all the advices and tips. If your wife is not religious, you have done mistakes in the past, now you still have chance to change yourself. And of course, anyone can change with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So it is my advice that before doing anything, you start yourself and ask Allah for the guidance for yourself and for your spouses as well, in order to have a home where you want to live forever, inshallah. May Allah protect our homes. May Allah make our spouses righteous. May Allah make our children pious children, and may Allah grant all those who are suffering with any kind of disease, may Allah grant them cure. وأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. Inshallah, see you tomorrow, inshallah, at the same time, 8 o'clock, with the recommendation number 3. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.